Hello, everyone. As you may know by now, I'm Susan Damiani. I am the host of the St. John's Power Hours that we have every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Uh, and I am the director of gift planning and also the director of the McAllen Society, which is our legacy society. And every week, as you know, in the gift planning electronic newsletter, we have the hello video. And today I'm so happy. I'm saying hello to Crystal Andrews Banks in Chicago, New York. Hello, Crystal. How are you?
Hello, Susan. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Good. I'm so excited. I'm more excited because Chicago is sort of a hometown for my family. My grandmother was born and raised in Chicago Heights, so I feel like I have this connection. My genes are connected to Chicago,
I
so I
love it.
love it. Let me ask you: is that where you grew up, or it just brought you out there because of your career or other reasons?
Yeah, so I'm originally from suburban Detroit. So
Ah, okay.
once I graduated from St. John's, and I wanted to be, closer to home, but not like super duper close.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of distance between my parents and my brother. So decided to settle here in Chicago, which I've been for a while.
Oh, great. And you like it? It seems you're smiling. You like all the snow?
Uh, so I like it probably like springtime, fall time, maybe not so much wintertime.
I love it. Um, so you're saying, okay, so the reason you came from St. John's is you wanted a change of scenery. And I'm not going to give it away. I want to surprise everybody. What was the other reason why you came to St. John's?
I came to St. John's for really two reasons. So one, to be a member of the women's basketball team. And
Yeah,
two, yay, women's
Red
basketball.
Storm.
Yes, go Red Storm. And the other reason is I was determined to take Robin Roberts' job on ESPN. So, like, okay, St. John's number one media market, this would be amazing. I did not take Robin Roberts' job, so we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Well, there's still time. You're young. Anything's
Yeah.
possible,
I
right?
mean, now it's GMA, which I'm not
Right.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I like her. She's great. She's really good. So you come to St. John's, you play for the basketball team. Um, and what did you major in while you were at St. John's?
So I did my undergrad in communications with a business minor, and then I did my master's in sociology.
Wow, that's a great combination. And did that immediately bring you to Ulta, or was there steps along the way?
I wish it was direct path to Ulta, but
Right.
it
Yeah.
was definitely some paths along the way. So while I was at St. John's, thank goodness for the athletic department and all the amazing alumni in the New York area. So I was able to have some amazing internship opportunities from HBO Sports to the NHL. And so, like,
Wow.
my fallback, if I wasn't going to take Robin's job, I was going to be in sports publicity, which I ended up not even doing. So once I
I
graduated, and
Amazing.
yeah, I mean, it's interesting where you think you're going to be and where you actually
That's
end
so
up.
true.
So
Mhm.
I ended up graduated, came to Chicago, and actually started in marketing at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, just due to
Wow.
a neighbor from Michigan was a SVP there, and I was there for 7 years. So I did marketing and internal communications, and then at the Fed is where I got the diversity and inclusion bug.
Mhm.
And just the more and more I researched the space. And like networked and attend conferences and like webinars, I thought, okay, this is an amazing space where I can really make a difference for individuals, for departments, for organization, and really be the change that I want to see in the world. So that kind of was my trajectory on my D&I journey. So since then, I had an opportunity to work at KPMG, Big Four, on the national D&I team. I've had a couple of global roles. With D&I, and most recently joined Ulta Beauty to lead diversity and inclusion. And it'll be 2 years in May since I've had the role, and it has definitely been such an amazing experience and journey when you think about kind of changing the narrative of beauty.
Wow, congratulations. That's in such a short time. You've done so much. You've been so busy. That's great. That's fantastic. And I think that's good too, because you've been in different companies.
Mhm.
And I'm sure that I know I had the same type of career. I went to different industries, and I think that's helped my position here in talking to all the different alumni and kind of understanding their backgrounds. So I'm sure that that helps with your position now.
Oh
Would you
yeah,
say?
it definitely
Yeah.
does.
Mm.
Yeah, and I would say, relationship building has been huge. And also,
Yeah.
um, not being afraid to try new things and
Hmm.
being okay with the missteps, but more importantly, learning from them and moving forward.
Wow, that's all good advice you just gave. I hope our alumni and our students are listening, because that's great advice. Let me ask you, I know with Ulta, I uncovered Ulta every year. I go down to Florida in March, which sadly it's the first year, and I think like 15 years I will not be going down to visit them. But that's when I uncovered Ulta Beauty. I didn't really know about it in New York, I have to say. And I just heard, I really haven't been in Manhattan these days, but I just heard that they were opening up one near Herald Square.
Yes.
So are they growing, still growing? Um, or have they've already been established in one area of the country, and I'm just noticing them more because they're expanding on the East Coast? I don't know.
Got it. So we have a little over 1,200 stores around the country. So every state
Wow.
has a couple of Ulta Beauties. I would say, we're really excited. We did open the Herald Square location, I want to say last week, to a lot of fun, uh, uh, fanfare. So for all
Mm,
those beauty enthusiasts, please switch and support Ulta Beauty and keep me employed. I would
I
appreciate
will. I will. We'll have to work it out. But it's also interesting, as you were talking about your career path and your journey. Um, you've really done a lot of networking. You were
Mhm,
saying athletics, and then you met this person and that person, and we do find, even though obviously we need our education,
mhm.
and we go out there and we hit the pavement with the resumes and all of that. There's that old adage that says, if it's all who you know,
Mhm.
and networking that kind of helps you get to that next step, whether, it's that inspiration, someone pushing you or motivating you. So I would say, like, my next question to you is, have you had mentors? Have you had anyone that's inspired you? We were celebrating Women's History Month.
Mhm.
So has there been a female uh, role model for you that has really, you would look back and say, this is why I'm here at Ulta now?
Yeah, so I would say so many women throughout my career have kind of just poured into me, and I would say beyond just career, personal, as
Hmm.
well, from family members to friends, and I have to give a shout out to Mary Pat Byrne, who is still at St. John's. So when I was at St. John's, Mary Pat certainly served as a mentor to me and an advocate and a sponsor and a champion, and really helped me not only navigate being a student athlete, the university, trying to figure out how do I kind of set myself up for success post St. John's. But she was more importantly a mother figure and a tremendous friend that we are so close to this day. So it's people like that
Mm.
that, in the moment, you appreciate them, but as I've, evolved on my own journey into, womanhood, you look back and like, wow, like I remember the conversations and the encouragement and the advice that she provided me that really just set me up for success.
Oh, that's nice to hear. And I know that'll make her feel really good. I know you were her graduate assistant, weren't you?
Yeah, so I was
So-
her
Yeah,
GA.
that's great. Yeah.
Was so much fun. We had a really good time, really trying to help student athletes transition from being a high school student and a high school athlete to, okay, what does this mean in a college atmosphere, and how do you ensure that people are equipped with the tools and the knowledge to succeed beyond St. John's.
Well, that segues into my next question that I wanted to ask you. For me in my office, I've had the pleasure of employing many student athletes. Uh, Last year, I had, or the last 2 years, I had from the tennis team, uh, David Target, who now is my graduate assistant. He's a former soccer player for St. John's. Um, there are certain qualities that I see that come from our student athletes. What were some of your takeaways being a student athlete and especially a female one?
Mhm. So I love the question. I would say there's, 5 million different things and characteristics and attributes that I could highlight. But if I would just narrow it down to, a few, I think, leadership is huge.
Mhm.
I guess I would combine leadership and teamwork,
Yeah.
which again applies just to your life skills, um, because every when you're in that atmosphere, everyone is marching towards the same beat to the same goal, and you understand what your role and dynamic is on the team, and you in that role is really pivotal for that team to be successful. And sometimes you have to be the leader, sometimes you have to be their cheerleader. You have to do what you have to do to empower and inspire and encourage your teammates to win. And again, I mean, that's the same thing in business. So when I think
Mhm.
about, my world, at Ulta Beauty, we want to be the not only the most loved beauty destination, but like the most inclusive. So how do I empower and inspire my colleagues and leaders to really cultivate an environment where people just feel like they can be who they are,
Who they are. Yeah.
as well as our guests. So I would say that is certainly a lot of transferable skills, and I would also say determination. Everyone remembers those practices when you just didn't feel like you had any more in you, but you had to power through, and that mental toughness is something that I love that I have. So yes, it might be a tough meeting, it might be a tough presentation, or it might be a tough conversation, but I have the mental toughness to do what I need to do to achieve my goals. So I would probably say those are the two main ones. But again, I
Mhm.
can go on
I know.
and
Yeah, but no, I agree with you because I saw that in many, like I said, many of the student athletes that I hired. Very confident and very team oriented, always willing, to help if they saw like their colleague, was struggling in something, wanted to go right there and rescue them and help them out. So I've had very success, and I feel like my team has been successful because of them being part of it and having, like you mentioned, really great qualities when you're building a team for employment. So thank you for sharing that. And I don't know, you must be reading my mind because every time you end, it segues always into my next question so beautifully.
I
So
love
I
it.
was going to ask you if you could share some advice, since it's Women's History Month. I'm sorry, men, we're ignoring you this month, specifically with the alumni. But you, in the beginning, you really did share some really good advice. So I think as a diversity officer, what kind of advice could you share with our alumni and students of color?
Got it. So I would say a few things, and I would say we need our men to serve as
We so
allies,
do, yeah,
champions for us. So please
and
be a
brothers.
part of the movement with us in partnership.
That's right.
I would say, particularly for um, students and alumni and women of color, a couple of things. So one is that you belong, and don't let anyone tell you that you don't, because if it's not you, then who?
Right.
So
That's a
you
good
have
point.
earned
Mhm.
a seat at the table, and please, leverage your voice and your expertise to the best of your abilities. Um, the other thing I would say is that, look, being successful, there's not a, prescription that you can take, or a certain path that you can take that's going to end up, similar to maybe someone that you aspire to be. But just know that, part of the journey is what makes it all like worth it. So, I mean, when I was at St. John's, I was going to be on TV, and now, I guess I'm on TV, and, with this interview.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I can check that box
that's
off.
right.
um, but like it's okay sometimes, if you don't know like where you're going, the point is like keep pushing and moving and evolving and challenging yourself because your path will start to define itself. But particularly when you're younger in your career and like you think you should be a CEO in like 5 years,
Yeah.
you have to appreciate, the journey, whether the good, the bad, the ugly, it all forms and shapes your character and who you are and how you can contribute to society.
That is fantastic. Wow, that was a great advice. And I love that you're saying, to be impatient, to enjoy the journey, because I do see the younger generation, they're coming out of college very well educated. When I went to school, and I'm not going to mention the year because I can't even believe it, a bachelor's degree was fine. But now, we're even seeing like PhDs are becoming so much more popular than they were years ago. So you're coming out with, all these super degrees, very knowledgeable. And I find the younger generation just very motivated, like you said, determined, and want to be really successful. But it's almost like when you come out the first year, it's like, what? I'm not the vice president. And you're like, wait a second, you have to learn the job. You have, there's a progression. And sometimes, like you said, with the hard work and with the journey, when you get there, I think you're going to celebrate it even more. If it comes too quickly, sometimes I don't know. I think you see it with young celebrities when they get that fame so quickly. Sometimes they can't handle it because I think, like you said, they didn't have the journey. They didn't enjoy that path. And sometimes when things come too quick, sometimes that's not always a good thing either. There are some people who are lucky,
Mhm.
and they can handle it. But I think what you said is so true. Enjoy the journey, and you certainly have had a fantastic one. Really impressive. This has been so enjoyable. Really, I just want to let everyone know, like, this is not scripted. I never met. This is the first time I'm meeting Crystal, and I'm so glad she agreed to be a panelist for our Women Empowering Women panel discussion that's on March 30th. Here's my little commercial. From 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I want all our alumni on this call because we all have to come together as St. John's Women, and we're going to have breakout sessions. And I really want to hear what the St. John's alumna wants from St. John's, and how we can all contribute to St. John's, and how collectively maybe there's a project or something that we can do together, to empower others and future generations of women. So I'm really, really excited about this program. And I want to thank you so much to want to be part of it, because I think, everything that you said, I'm sure we're going to hear more from you on the 30th, and it's going to be all really great stuff. But as we end, like I was saying, as a St. John's alumna, if you had to pick, one word, what would you describe that word, to describe St. John's, but maybe specifically what what it means to be an alumna from St. John's University?
Wow. Okay, one word.
Oh, it's not easy. I know someone asked me. I had to think about it too.
I would probably say limitless, because I truly feel like the possibilities that St. John's provided me, both from educational perspective to just my own personal growth into womanhood, the possibilities have been truly endless. So when I think about St. John's and just how it has impacted my life and really kind of set me on this trajectory, it would definitely be limitless.
Wow, I love that. That's great. Thanks, Crystal.
No problem,
Been
Susan.
fun. I really enjoyed this. I hope you did too. Tell all my family over in Chicago that I said hello.
I
We
will.
lost
I
our
will.
family there.
Well, yeah,
I'll
and I'm
go
looking
there
forward.
again.
Well, no,
Why?
I
What?
am.
What?
No,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry, I interrupted you. No, you go.
No. I was just saying I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation on the
Yes.
30th. So this should be good.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great, and it'll be a lot of fun. So I'll see you at the end of the month. But thank you again. So everyone have a great afternoon, and I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I know I certainly did. Thanks.
Thank you.